दुष्टमना तुम्हें किसेरा वैष्णव प्रतिष्ठारतारे निर्जने राघारे प्रतिष्ठार निर्जने राघारे तव हरिनाम केवल कैतव दुष्टमना तुम्हें किसेर वैष्णव दुष्टमना किसेर वैष्णव जडेर प्रतिष्ठा शुकरेर वेष्ठा जडेर जानो न कीताः मायार वैभव कनक कामिनी दिवसयामिनी अनक भावे की काजा अनित्य से सब भावे तोमार कनक भोगेर जनक तुम्हारा कनकेर द्वारे सेवो हो माधव कनकेर कामिनीर कामन हेतव धाम कामिनीर तहर मालिक केवल यादव तहर प्रतिष्ठा शतरु जड माया मारो प्रतिष्ठा न पेल रावण जुझिया राघव न पेल वैष्णवी प्रतिष्ठा ताते कौरनिष्ठा वैष्णवी ताहा न भुजिले लभिबे रौरव हरिजन द्वेष प्रतिष्ठा शाक्लेश करो के न तबे ताहार गौरव करो के वैष्णवेर पाछे प्रतिष्ठा साछे ताते कभु नाहे अनित्य वैभव ताते कभु से हरि संबंध शून्य माया गंध ताहा कभु नय जडेर कैतव प्रतिष्ठा चंडाली निर्जनता जाली प्रतिष्ठा उभये जानी हो माई करौरव उभये कीर्तन छाड़ीबो प्रतिष्ठा माखीब कीर्तन की काज ढूढ़िया तादृश गौरव की माधवेंद्र चोरी भाव घरे चोरी माधवेंद्र न करिल काभो सदाई जानाबो न तोमार प्रतिष्ठा शोकारे रविष्ठा तुम्हारा तारा सहसा कभो न मनाव तारा मत्सर तव से तुमी जडर से मत्सर मजे छो छाड़िया कीर्तन सौष्ठव ताई दुष्ट मान निर्जन भजन दैनिष्ठ प्रचारी छो छले कुयोगी वैभव प्रचारी छो प्रभु सनातने परम जतने प्रभु सनातन शिक्षा दिलया चिंतो से ही सब से दोटी कथा भूलो न सर्वथा उच्च स्वरे कर हरि नाम राव उच्च स्वरे फल्गुआर युक्त बद्ध आर मुक्त फल्गुआर कभु न भावी हो एकाकार सब न कनक कामिनी प्रतिष्ठा बाघिनी कनक छाड़िया छे जारे से तो वैष्णव सरिया से अनासक्त से शुद्ध भक्त अनासक्त संसार तथा पाय पराभाव संसार तथा भाव यथा योग्य भोग नाही तथा रोग अनासक्त से की आर कहबो अनासक्त आसक्ति रहित संबंध सहित आसक्ति विषय समूह सकली माधव विषय से युक्त वैराग्य ताहा तो सौभाग्य ताहा ही जाडे ते हरिर वैभव कीर्तने जहार प्रतिष्ठा संभार ताहार संपत्ति केवल कैतव विषय मुमुक्षु भोगेर बुभुक्षु दुये त्यजो मान दुई अवैष्णव दुये त्यजो कृष्णेर संबंध अप्राकृत स्कंध कृष्णेर संबंध कभु न हेताहा जडेर संभव कभु न मायावादी जान कृष्णे तरमान मुक्त अभिमाने से निंदे वैष्णव मुक्त अभिमान वैष्णवेर दास तव भक्ति आशा वैष्णवेर दास किनो वाढ़ाड़ी किनो वाढ़ाकी हो निर्जन आहावा किनो वाढ़ाकी हो जे फल्गु वैरागी कहे निजे त्यागी फल्गु सेना पारे काभू होइते वैष्णव सेना पारे काभू हरिपद छाड़ी निर्जन तबाड़ी हरिपद छाड़ी लभिया की फल फल्गु से वैभव लभिया राधा दासे रही छाड़ी भोग आही राधा दास प्रतिष्ठा शाना है कीर्तन गौरव प्रतिष्ठा शाना है राधा नित्य जानता छाड़ी माना नृत्य किनो वा निर्जन भजन कैतव किनो वा व्रजवासी गान प्रचार कथन व्रजवासी प्रतिष्ठा भिक्षुक तारण हेशव प्रतिष्ठा प्राण चेतार से हेतु प्रचार प्राण चेतार प्रतिष्ठा शाहीन कृष्ण गाथा सब प्रतिष्ठा शाही Shridayita dasa kirtaneta asha Shridayita dasa Koro uchchasare hari nama rava Kirtana prabhave smarana swabhave ganasa Se kale bhajana nirjana sambhava Se kale Dushtamana tumi kisera Vaishnava Dushtamana tumi Vaishnava Dushtamana tumi kisera Vaishnava Dushtamana tumi kisera Vaishnava. The meaning of this song is good that you repeated. I don't think it would have been possible to sing alone. So the meaning is, oh wicked mind, what kind of Vaishnav do you think you are? This is a heavy chastisement to our mind, especially if we think we are great souls, Nirjan, Bhajan performers. Your pretentious show of chanting Lord Hari's holy name in a solitary place is only for the sake of attaining the false prestige of a worldly reputation. It is nothing but pure hypocrisy. Such materialistic prestige is as disgusting as the stool of a hog. Do you not know that it is only a mere illusion cast by the potency of Maya? What is the value of contemplating day and night your plans for enjoying wealth and women? All these things are only temporary. When you claim wealth as your own, it creates in you ever increasing desires for material enjoyment. Your riches should be used for serving Madhav, the Lord of all wealth. Neither is it your proper place to indulge in lust for women, whose only true proprietor is Lord Yadav. The demon Ravan, lust incarnate, fought with Lord Ramchandra, love incarnate, in order to gain the tree of worldly reputation. But that oasis turned out to be but a mirage cast in the desert wasteland of the Lord's illusory material potency. Please cultivate fixed determination to attain only the steady and solid platform whereupon a Vaishnav ever stands. If you neglect worshipping the Lord from this position, then you will ultimately attain a hellish existence. Why do you needlessly suffer the torment of blaspheming the devotees of Lord Hari, attempting to achieve their eminence, thereby only proving your own fruitless foolishness? The desire for spiritual eminence is easily fulfilled when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, for eternal fame automatically follows the hills of a Vaishnav, and that fame is never to be considered a temporary worldly opulence. The relationship between a devotee and Lord Hari is devoid of even a trace of worldly illusion. It has nothing to do with the materialistic cheating propensity. The prestige of so called popularity in the material realm is compared to a treacherous dog eating witch, and the attempt to live in solitude to supposedly engage in unalloyed bhajan is compared to an entangling network of distraction. Please know that anyone striving in either of these ways verily lives in the hell of Maya's illusion. I shall give up chanting the Lord's name publicly in Kirtan and retire to solitude, thus smearing myself with worldly honor. Dear mine, what is the good of seeking such so-called glory? I will always remind you that the great soul Madhvendra Puri never deceived himself in that regard by committing theft in his own storehouse of perception the way you do. Your cheap reputation is equal to the stool of a hog. An ordinary ambitious man like you can never be equated with a devotee of Madhvendra Puri's eminence. Under the sway of envy, you have drowned yourself in the filthy waters of material enjoyment after having abandoned the excellent perfection of congregational kirtan. Truly, O wicked mind, the glories of so called solitary worship are propagated only by false yogis using unscrupulous means to deceive others. To save yourself from these pitfalls, please contemplate the instructions that the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kindly gave us while addressing Srila Sanatana Goswami with the utmost care. Do not forget for a moment the two most valuable concepts that he taught. First, the principle of dry apparent renunciation as opposed to real appropriate renunciation. And second, the principle of a soul being trapped in the bondage of matter as opposed to a soul who is liberated. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that these conflicting concepts are on the same level. Please remember this while engaging yourself in chanting the Lord's holy names as loud as you possibly can. One is truly a Vaishnav who has given up the habit of falling victim to the ferocious tigress of wealth, beauty, and fame. Such a soul is factually detached from material life and is known as a pure devotee. Someone with this consciousness of detachment has thereby become victorious over the mundane world of birth and death. One is indeed detached who moderately partakes of worldly things that are deemed necessary for living in devotional service. A devotee acting in that manner does not fall prey to the disease of material infatuation. Thus, devoid of selfish attachment and endowed with the ability to see things in relation to the Lord, all sense objects are then directly perceived as being Lord Madhav himself. This is the standard of befitting renunciation, and one who realizes this is most fortunate indeed. Everything involved in such a devotee's life represents Lord Hari's personal spiritual opulence as manifest in the world of matter. On the other hand, one who engages in chanting the Lord's name with hopes of enhancing his own material reputation finds that all his activities and paraphernalia represent only the riches of hypocrisy. O mind, please reject the company of two types of persons: those desiring impersonal liberation from the material world, and those who desire to enjoy the pleasure of material sense objects. Both of these are equally non devotees. The things that are used in relation to Lord Krishna are objects belonging directly to the transcendental realm, and thus having nothing to do with matter, they cannot be either owned or forsaken by persons interested in mundane enjoyment or renunciation. An impersonal philosopher is opposed to thinking of Krishna as an object of devotion, and thus being puffed up with the false pride of imaginary liberation, he dares to criticize the true devotees of the Lord. O mind, you are the servant of the Vaishnavas, and you should always hope for attaining devotion. Why then do you make such a loud commotion by calling to me and trying to prove the supposed supremacy of your practice of solitary worship? One who falsely gives up things that could actually be used in the Lord's service proudly calls himself a renunciate. But unfortunately, he can never become a Vaishnava by such an attitude. Abandoning his servitorship to the lotus feet of Lord Hari and resigning himself to his solitary home, whatever is gained by that exercise can only be the worthless treasure of deception. Ever engage yourself in the service of Sri Radha and keep aloof from the vicious snake of materialistic sense gratification. The glory of participating in the Lord's Kirtan is not meant to bolster anyone's ambitions for personal recognition. O mind, why then have you abandoned the identity of being Radha's eternal servant in favor of retiring to a solitary place to practice the cheating process of so called bhajan? The most valuable treasures amongst the Lord's preachers are the eternal personalities residing in Vrajadham. They never occupy themselves with begging for worthless material reputation, which is cherished only by the living dead. The Vrajavasis are truly infused with life, and therefore they preach in order to give life to the walking corpses of the mundane world. All the songs that the Vrajavasis sing about the glories of Lord Krishna are devoid of any tinge of desire for fame. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, servant of Radha and her beloved Krishna, always hopes for kirtan, and he begs all to loudly sing the names of Lord Hari. The transcendental power of congregational chanting automatically awakens remembrance of the Lord and his divine pastimes in relation to one's own eternal spiritual form. Only at that time does it become possible to go off to a solitary place and engage in the confidential worship of their lordships. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत ध्वांत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षाद् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भ रसंबोधे पदाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतौ पंगोर मम मंदा मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजो राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद्रन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान्द्रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षणवेणु स्वनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथाय श्रेयस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानो सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So by the desire of His Grace Suvarna Gaur Hariprabhu, Krishna as Paramatma in heart inspired me to discuss something about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, though we are planning to speak from Chaitanya Lila, continuation of yesterday. But today being his appearance day, because the time in the afternoon is less, so we'll for morning fix our attention on his final instructions of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. That is an article. I did not read this one. I had read another one, but we did not get those notes. So let's see on the spot. Whatever Bhakti Thakur blesses, we'll discuss that. What we don't understand, we'll just read for our purification. We'll not discuss so much on that. On December 23rd, 1936, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada gave his final instructions to the assembled devotees. Perhaps many people have considered me their enemy because I was compelled to tell the unadulterated truth. I asked them to serve the Lord with all sincerity. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was one of the most opposed and even attacked Acharya in our Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya because he did not compromise at all. Absolutely not. There's no place anywhere he compromised. So Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's footsteps Prabhupada followed, and Prabhupada also did not compromise. But Bhakti Thakur faced a lot of opposition. Many people said many things. Even once police were paid 25,000 rupees in those days. This is before 1936. In today's date also, it is so valuable, 25,000. And this is that time. They were paid and told, kill this sadhu. And make sure that he does not survive. But police were knowing Bhaktan Thakur's caliber, so they privately came and told that, sir, there is attempt made to kill you. We have been paid 25,000 rupees to kill you. Generally, we accept money and do our work, but we know you are a great sage, great saint. So take care. There is a lot of people against you. Even when he conducted Vrajamandal Parikrama, so when he would visit the seven temples, they closed the doors for several reasons. For his giving initiation to Brahmanas and many things like that. For his vehement preaching, very pure preaching. And also there were stones thrown when the Parikrama party devotees would be proceeding with Bhaktan Thakur with around 10,000 disciples and followers would be going in Vrajamandal Parikrama and stones would be thrown. They had to take care of themselves. I have given much anxiety to many people only because I wanted to inspire them to serve Krishna sincerely, without material desire and duplicity. This song is the testimony to that. How he's condemning any fallacy, any distraction, or any deviation in pure practice of Hari Bhajan. Absolutely nothing. No else, nothing else can be accepted. Nothing short of pure devotional service. So His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has written one book, Vaishnav Ki, based on this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada's some speeches related to that, and then Maharaj's own commentary also to that. So that's very nice. Only on these 19 verses that book is based on. I have given much anxiety to many people only because I wanted to inspire them to serve Krishna sincerely without material desire and duplicity. One day they will understand this. Because one day one has to become pure devotee and go back home, back to Godhead. So before going back to Godhead, one has to understand the way Bhaktan Thakur gave pure teaching. There cannot be any adulteration by a person who is going back to Godhead. He has to be completely pure, externally as well as internally. Bhaktan Thakur was like that. His Nayan Manjari in the spiritual world came here for the deliverance of all fallen conditioned souls. So there are around 46 instructions over here. So we'll see one by one. Wherever we are able to elaborate, we'll elaborate. Else, we'll just proceed forward. First one. Sakale Parama Utsaha Sahakare Rupa Raghunatha Vani Prachara Sabar. These are in Bangla and English translations are given. All of you preach the message of Rupa and Raghunath to everyone with great enthusiasm. Our acharyas have been following Rupa and Raghunath. We can see Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya also says in that Gauranga Karuna Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharir. In that song, fourth and fifth stanza, both the places he's saying Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bhuja Bose Yugala Piriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mora Asha Prarthana Koro Ye Sada Narottama Dasa. So Rupa and Raghunath, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also, though his spiritual master is Nityanand Prabhu, but he offers, he remembers or prays for the mercy, potency of Rupa and Raghunath at the end of every chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, what he says? Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoi Mora Ash. Prathana Koro Sada. Rupa Raghunatha Pade. Okay, whatever it is. I begging at the mercy. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kahe Krishna Das. Rupa Raghunatha Pade. Maybe I'm not remembering, whatever. So he says, I pray at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, so that I can write complete this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are followers of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. Such renunciation. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would glorify Srila Bhakti Thakur. And Bhakti Thakur would be giving class. Very silently, after some time, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would come and sit at the back, leaning against the wall also. Without the knowledge of Bhakti Thakur, he would come and he would listen to the discourse given by his own disciple, Bhakti Thakur, and would relish it like anything. And he would say, the renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami, is seen in my master, meaning Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That now how he speaks, completely renounced, absolutely not attached to anything material, and he would condemn any material attachment, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj would take pride, pleasure in glorifying the pure character of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Also, we know how when Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj was leaving his body in Navadvip, he told that my body be dragged through the dust of Vrindavan Dham, like that in Vrindavan. So his humility dictated him that I should get the dust of all the great souls having who visited Vrindavan Dham. Somehow Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not present that time. When Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj left body, these Mahantas around, they had tied his hands and legs for dragging his body through the dust of Vrindavan. And after some time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he came and he saw that, he was shocked. He said, what are you doing? Why are you tying the legs of my spiritual master? So they said that was his last desire. So we have to fulfill the desire of the dying man. So we are going to drag him through the dust of Vrindavan. He said, what fools, you all speaking foolishly. Yeah, how can you say, how can you do like this? And that is his humility that he prayed like that. That doesn't mean that you should drag. He is so exalted. So you cannot do that. They said, who are you? You get lost. He said, I am the disciple of Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj. So I am going to take his claim of his body and I will put his body in Samadhi. They said, no, no, no. Who will be putting his body in Samadhi? They wanted to put his body in Samadhi in their mutt, because Gaur Kushita Babaji Maharaj was Sakshat Vairagya Murti, personification of renunciation. He was very famous. So if his body is put in a tomb in Samadhi, in their mutt, so many visitors will come and put money there, Dakshina. And these people will earn a lot. So that was their exploitative purpose. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no. Huh? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that no, I am the only disciple, I claim his body. They said no, we are claiming his body. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to do something by which they will be helpless. Then he said, my spiritual master was Vairagya Murti, completely detached, renounced from all the worldly pleasures, particularly from wealth and women. He never had anything to do with wealth and women, any time to do with wealth and women. So only the person who did not have any association with any woman for last 1 year, he can come forward and claim, touch the body of my spiritual master. So all the Mahants, Matadish, all the leaders of different matas, their heads went down because they had some wrong affair, illicit affair with some woman in last 1 year. So then he said, anybody who did not have any illicit connection with a woman for last 1 month, he can come forward and claim the body. Again, they were silent. He said, in last 1 week, whoever did not have connection, he can claim. Nobody came. He said, last 1 day, come and claim. Finished. And there was one police also, officer who had accompanied him, because he knew there could be some physical fight or attack on Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So like that. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, so nobody is pure follower of my spiritual master except me. I am born brahmachari. I am whole lifelong celibate. So only I claim the body of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I am taking his body. And then he picked up the body of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj. And first he put in, so that police had asked, how you are so bold and confident of these people's fallacies and all that. He said, I know everything. It's not. Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj was also like that. He would be doing Hari Bhajan and he would say, and that rascal, he would take the name of some sadhu. He's having illicit sex with that widow. right now. And immediately people would run to that kutir and would see that sadhu would be having illicit sexual affair with some widow woman, and he would be caught. Gorksham was sitting here, he would be able to tell who is which bogus sadhu, what is he doing. So Bhaktan Thakur was perfect follower of Gorkishore Babaji Maharaj. So Gorkishore Babaji Maharaj took pleasure in saying that the renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami is seen in my master. So very difficult to imitate even the renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami. Acharyas have said anybody tries to imitate the renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami will die. Will die actually. Cannot survive only. Because once in 3 days, taking little charge in a throne. So that is Raghunath Das Goswami. So all of you preach the message of Rup and Raghunath to everyone with great enthusiasm. So all of us are blessed by Srila Prabhupada. He has given us all the teachings of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. And we are already preaching all those teachings. Nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion, Manas Shiksha, and so many other literatures, advanced literatures are also there. Second, Rupanuga Padadhuli Haite Sabar Jena Chamara Akanksha Chitte Chage Anibar. May the ultimate desire to become a speck of dust at the lotus feet of the followers of Sri Rupa remain ever awake in our hearts. And this should be our goal, to become a speck of dust at the lotus feet of followers of Sri Rupa Goswami. Rupa, we are Rupanugas, followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, and Acharyas tell we just follow his teaching. So anybody who is following the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami, we just want to be a speck of dust at the lotus feet of followers of Sri Rupa. Though we certainly say, Mahaprabhu said, Kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrusham vichinte. Oh Lord Krishna, please make me a speck of dust at your lotus feet. But our process, as Mahaprabhu revealed, Gopi Vardur Padakamalyor, Dasa Dasa Dasanudas, to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. So thus, we should be taking even or desiring to become even a speck of dust at the lotus feet of any follower of Sri Rupa Goswami. Certainly, a very staunch follower is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, and Bhaktan Thakur's staunch follower is Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada's disciples are staunch followers of Srila Prabhupada. So we want to be a speck of dust at the lotus feet of all the sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada. Third one, Advaya Jnana Tattva Vraje Vrajendra Nandan Mula Vishaya Vigraha Seyi Sarva Sevya Dhan. Vrajendra Nandan Krishna is the principle of non-dual consciousness. He is the root object of devotion and the treasured object of service for all. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. In Prabhupada's genius nature, that in one word, in these 4 words, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He has described Krishna as the supreme master, and we should just make serving him with devotion. That is only our treasured object of service for all, everyone. Fourth, Tara aprakruta indriya tarpana uddeshesh agraya anugayate sabe tatha mile mise. In order to satisfy the transcendental senses of the one non-dual supreme truth, remain united in following Radha, the original reservoir of love for him. So Radharani is, whole existence of Radharani is for serving Krishna. So in order to serve Krishna, satisfy his senses, we should just remain united in following Radharani. Fifth, Sabara Uddesha Eka Shri Hari Bhajana Tahasa Dhibare Sabe Karaha Jatana. Everyone make the effort to perfect your worship of Shri Hari. Make this the only purpose of your lives. So we don't exist for any other reason than to serve Krishna and please him. That's the only reason for our survival. We should breathe in and breathe out only Krishna Bhakti. Love for Krishna, devotion to him, service to him. The Bhakti Thakur's he always fixed on that. And he also taught how one should not be carried away by hodgepodge, superficial things. Like in the last stage of his life, when one very melodious singer came and he wanted to sing, he was singing. Bhakti Thakur stopped him. He said, no, stop it. And he called another devotee who was very simple, who was not very expert in singing ability. He was kind of off key. And then that time Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you sing this Shirupa Manjari Pada. That was his most favorite song. And that devotee sang, in one sense, not very as per the rules and expertise of music. There were some defects in the singing as far as the musical sense goes. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur said then, I want to teach you all that how we don't want to get carried away by superficial things. We look for devotion. That means this Prabhu has devotion. So his singing is very appealing. Whereas the other person who was so expert in singing, so that is not so important for us. We are not going for superficial thing. We want to go for deep devotion. Prabhupada, we can see how Prabhupada did not sing. How many tunes did Prabhupada sing? Only one or two or so. Not that he did not know, he was expert, but one or two. That Hare Krishna Kirtan Dhun. By that, revolution was created in the entire world. I heard that George Harrison once he made Shyam Sundar Prabhu, so he told, "Yes, I have heard your Swami's album, that Hare Krishna Dhun. Once I was driving for 22 hours at a stretch, and continuously for 22 hours, I heard Swami's Kirtan only." So appealing. George Harrison, what a expert in music, and he heard only Prabhupada Kirtan Dhun. He could have heard so many other musicians or his own musical thing. No, he was attracted by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada with that one Kirtan Dhun created revolution. And we know so many tunes. And our only goal in life is to release tunes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And how many are watching? How people are responding? They are understanding or not? That Tansen is there. Tansen ka baap is there in their midst. So we are all bogus. I'm talking about myself. We are bogus, imitators. So we don't go for superficial things. We just follow Srimati Radharani, whose only goal in life, for Krishna's sake, to perform any sacrifice. So Radharani says, if Chandravali could be pleasing Krishna at this time more than myself, then I will go to Chandravali, who is arch rival of Radharani in one sense. They are cousin sisters only. Chandrabhanu's daughter Chandravali and Vrishabhanu's daughter Srimati Radharani. So they are cousin sisters. But there is left wing, right wing, and then Radharani is more dear to Krishna. So she says that I will go to Chandravali, I will fall at her feet and plead, please Chandravali, come. Krishna is desiring to have you only. Nobody else can satisfy at this time. You only come. So who will do that? Only Radharani can do that. Her only goal is in life is to please Krishna by any means. Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtuma adarshanan marma hotam karotuva yatha tathava vidadatu lampatu smat prananatas saeva napara. So nobody else. Radharani has such love for Krishna. So we just want to follow in her footsteps. Fifth one, everyone make effort to perfect your worship of Sri Hari. Make this the only purpose of your life. I think we discussed this fifth. Sixth, Dudinera janiyai anitya samsar ihate mamata tyaji ho maya par. Remember that this world is temporary and lasts only a day or two. Give up your family attachment and transcend this world of illusion. So we should know. Kamala dala jala jivana tala mala bhajau haripada nitire. So our life is like a drop of water on the top of the lotus leaf. Any wind blows and finished. So we should know that temporary nature of this material world. Bhaja nityam, smara nityam, anityata. Always remember the temporary nature of this world. So he's guiding us in that. Lasts only a day or two. Give up your family attachment and transcend this world of illusion. So Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disciples, how they were family men, but they were so detached. I even heard once, I don't know, I want to find out the reference where it is, that when the month end would come, so then Bhaktivinoda Thakur would be sitting on Vasasan and table like this. Here Prabhu's in line and Mataji is in line. So the husband would come and keep all his entire salary on the table. So Guru Maharaj, for the service of Lord Krishna, please accept it. Means please accept it. Means you are free to reject it, but please accept. Now I'm begging you. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says thank you. And then he would look at the wife here. So how much you need for monthly expenditure? Then she would say, Guru Maharaj, 50 rupees or 70 rupees in those days. So then he would tell, okay, take that much money. And she would take. And the next disciple would come, keep the entire month's salary. And then same thing, his wife would be asked. So amazing. And what to speak of that particular disciple? What was his name? Chittaranjan, Dinabandhu Chittaranjan, something like that. Who, when Bagbazar temple was to be built, there was a temple in Bagbazar, but that was very small. Brahmacharis would be not getting place to sleep also. Some of them would sleep below the ladder, below the staircase. No place, enough space. So then big temple was to be built, marble temple. This Grahastha disciple of Bhaktan Thakur sold all his property. His living house also, and his clothes also, his wife's saris also. They had only the dhoti kurta and one more pair, that's all. They had no house. Bhaktan Thakur told brahmacharis and sannyasis, give them one room in the brahmachari ashram. They said, but Mataji, how can Mataji? Said, they are not grahasthas, they are more than sannyasis. A room for them. Yes, Guru Maharaj. So now also if you go to Bagbazar, anybody had been to Bagbazar temple? So you will find there in the ashram area, his what they call effigy is there, image kind of, like up to this, and then below one pillar is not photo, but what you call that, image or idol or whatever you call, DT kind, not DT exactly. So form idol is there. So amazing, and he also cries tears. He writes to Bhaktivinoda Thakur that Guru Maharaj, what is this property? Actually, I am only your property. You are accepting me. That's a great fortune for me. That's your great kindness on me. What a humble Vaishnava. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur trained his disciples like that. That's why he's saying, give up your family attachment and transcend this world of illusion. Krishnera samsara kori chadiya nachar. We don't do our own sansar. Generally, every person who gets married now thinks, now I have to set up my family, whole setup, house, then wife saris, bangles, and utensils, and clothes, this, that. No, Krishna era samsara kori, chadi anachar. That was the teaching. Give up your family attachment and transcend this world of illusion. Seventh, konarope jivana nirvaha kari chala, nitya tattva Krishna bhakti karaha sambhala. Maintain your worldly obligations in whatever way you can, but make the eternal principle, devotion to Krishna, the true purpose of your voyage through life. That means for even Grihasthas also. First and foremost, pure devotional service. And then for maintenance of wife, children, all that. Then some means of livelihood. That's all. That is not the main goal. So many of us get carried away so much. The main goal is earning money, for grihasthas particularly. One place I was told that the grihastha counselors are guiding the boys who would be getting married, that first you need lot of money. See, next to Pune temple there is Barsana building, and it's very costly flats there. So you need lot of money, lakhs of rupees to purchase a flat there. So you should work hard. Don't go to temple so much, don't attend program. First you work very hard, earn lot of money, then you can secure a flat in Barsana building. Then every day you can visit Radha Vrindavan Chandra. So this is not the way, and this is not the proper teaching. Once Radhesham Prabhu also some kind of guidance was given like that to boys by Grihastha counselor. After that, Radhesham Prabhu, he happened to hear. Then he said very boldly that what is the statement? Very heavy statement. So these preachers who are guiding you all, they are not following Prabhupada guidelines, and this is sure short formula for all of you going to hell. Something like that. Super eye opener. They are not following Prabhupada's principles, and this is the way you all will go to hell for sure. All the boys chanting 16 rounds, many initiated also. So like that we have to preach. No question of making money, family in the foreground of your life. No, that is in the background. First, Krishna Bhakti, service to Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas. Prabhupada's followers were like that. Prabhupada disciples, they were college dropouts. They did not worry about money, earning, and all that. But for Prabhupada's sake, they went to not just different countries, different continents, and opened. That's how in 12 years, 108 temples. It is not just, yes, certainly glory of Srila Prabhupada, but the glory of all his followers, who on his instruction, out of love for him, went to far and wide places and opened centers for him. without absolutely any attachment to body and anything to do with the bodily relations. So that's how the 108 temples were built. So that's what he's saying. Maintain your worldly obligations in whatever way you can, but make the eternal principle devotion to Krishna the true purpose of your voyage through life. 8. Vipad Ganjana Sata Shata Se Lanchana Asuk Tathapi Hari Bhajana Cherona. Let hundreds of dangers, insults, or persecutions come, but in spite of them, do not give up your worship of Krishna. So he himself was like that, and he trained his followers like that. No matter how many hurdles, dangers, insults come, Hari Bhakti, worship of Krishna, Hari Bhajan should never be given up. 9th, Sarva Vigna Vinashana Prabhu Gaura Hari Avasya Shripade Sthana Dibena Dayakari. Lord Gaura Hari destroys all obstacles on the path. He will surely be merciful and give you a place at his lotus feet. So pray to Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. 10th, Shri Krishna Vimukha Heri Adhikamsa Jana Shuddha Krishna Seva Kathana Kare Grahana Hayana Utsaha Hina Tahate Kakhana Cherona Jivatu Tava Nijera Bhajana. When you see that most people are indifferent to Sri Krishna and show no interest in selfless service to Krishna and in talks about him, don't be discouraged. First of all, never give up your bhajan, your life and soul. So Prabhupada is the best example as the ideal follower of Bhaktan Thakur's this teaching and all the teachings, but in particular this one. His Grace Brahmanand Prabhu said, Prabhupada was man of no discouragement. If we read the first volume of Sri Lilamrit, Prabhupada Lilamrit, we'll find so many discouraging things that happened in Prabhupada's life, almost up to the age of 65, 70, up to his voyage. In fact, there are also so many troubles on the voyage. But Prabhupada never got discouraged. After all the attempts to preach in India, which were most of them failures, Prabhupada then at the fag end of life decided, let me go to America. Who will decide like that? Who will think like that? Oh, so many things happened, defeat. Better, I think I should just stay in the Radha Damodar temple. Nice room is there. Chant Hare Krishna. No, Prabhupada decided to go to West after so many defeats. So Prabhupada was the best follower of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. 11th, Nija Sarva Swa Krishna Katha Shravana Kirtan Chadiya Daridra Ke Na Karibe Varan. Why would you accept the poverty of a life without hearing and chanting about Krishna, your soul wealth? That means our wealth is Shravan and Kirtan. This is the income that we want to earn every day. A lot of money we want to earn by Shravan and Kirtan. That is the money, that is the property, that is the asset, not the worldly money. That worldly notes that Krishna will send. Your maintenance, Krishna's responsibility, and your responsibility, Krishna bhajan. That's all. Krishna pada padma maga jivera kalyan achire pura begvancha sarva shaktiman. Beg for Krishna's lotus feet, the ultimate benediction for all living beings. The Lord is all powerful and will quickly fulfill your desires. 13th, असमर्थन हे कृष्ण धरे सर्व बल कृष्ण सेवके रवांछा कभू न होय विफल. Krishna is not incapable, he is omnipotent, and his servants desires never go in vain. Desires for spiritual perfection basically. So Krishna is all capable. He is the supremely powerful personality. So by his grace, while serving him, all our desires will be fulfilled. 14, तृणापेक्षा हीन दीन आपने मानिबे तृण सम साह्य गुण भूषित हईबे अमानी मानद हये सदा नाम लबे श्री नाम भजने सर्व pradhana janibe. Please always chant the name of the Lord, being humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. Give all respect to others and demand none for yourself. Make the worship of the holy name the most important aspect of your devotional life. So the third verse of Shikshashtaka. 15. Shri Chaitanya Pravartita Sankirtana Yagya Ihete Laya Diksha Bhajibena Vigya. A wise person will worship the Lord after taking initiation in the sacrifice of the holy name inaugurated by Shri Krishna Chaitanya and his associates. So continue devotional service. 16. Saptashikha Nama Yagya Nale Atmahoti Visheshe Kalite Yei Shastrera Jukati. Offer yourself up to the 7 flames of this sacrificial fire. Mahaprabhu has explained. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. First verse are the 7 flames of the fire of Sankirtan. The scriptures say that this especially is the religious principle for the age of Kali. Sankirtan is our life and soul. 17th. Karmavira Dharmavira Haye Kaja Nai Jnana Yoga Tapa Adi Pathe Kashtapai. We do not seek to become heroes performing great works of or religious deeds. We will become distressed if we take up the paths of knowledge, works, or austerities. So our goal is not all that. Yagya, Dan, Tapa, and all those other things. Our goal is only Sankirtan. 18. Shri Rupera Pada Dhuli Jana Swarup Se Sarvaswata He Naho Virup. Know that your true identity is to be a speck of dust at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Prabhu, Rupa Goswami. Don't go against this identity, which is your treasure. 19th. Rupanugavaryahana Shri Bhakti Vinoda Se Bhakti Vinoda Dharya Bahe Shuddha Moda. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the best of the followers of Shri Rupa Goswami. The pure joy of devotional service comes in the stream that started with him, glorifying Bhakti Vinod Thakur, is Kamal Manjari. 20th. Bhakti Rasamruta Purna Se Puta Dhara Kakhona Habena Ruddha Shatavigna Dwara. That stream is holy and full of nectarian flavors of devotion. Even 100 obstacles will never obstruct it. So perform unobstructed devotional service. 21. Sedharaya haya snata buddhimanajan bhakti vinoda manobhishta karaha puran. Intelligent persons who have bathed in the waters of that stream should endeavor to fulfill the heartfelt wishes of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. 22nd. Bahu yogya kruti vakti acha tomar haosabe aguvan esha kari twar. Amongst you are many capable and worthy individuals. So all of you quickly come forward and take up this task. Bhakti Thakur appealed and Prabhupada perfected that the task. 23rd. Dante Trinadhari Jachi Punaha Punaha Shri Rupa Padadhuli Jena Hoi Janma Janma. Taking grass between my teeth, I prayed repeatedly that I may become a speck of dust at Shri Rupa Goswami's lotus feet, birth after birth. That was his most favorite song, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. In that Abhilasha, that aspiration is revealed very elaborately. 24th. Ihavina anya kangsha nahuka rudhaye yevancha sarva hrudhe hauka udaye. Other than this, I pray that no other desire will manifest in my or anyone else's heart. 25th. Ye samsare tat thaka kale ache nana badha badha tahe muyamana ka bhu nahi be sarvata. While living in this world, we encounter many difficulties, but there is no need for us ever to be bewildered by these difficulties. So one should be undaunted, undisturbed, should go on. 26th. Badha matra dura karai nahe prayojan tat atha para kahi kiba labhya chinte vigyajan. We need make no effort to remove any of these obstacles. What is necessary for us while we are still here is to learn what is beyond, what will be the nature of our eternal life. So sometimes devotees get carried away by, Prabhu, this obstacle is there in my life, that obstacle is there. First, let me set it right. Then I will perform devotional service. No, we should be fixed in our bhajan, in our devotional service. And Krishna will take care of other things. 27. Nityatma amimora nitya se jivan ekhoni haukatara tatva nirdharan. Let me realize at this very moment the nature of my eternal spiritual identity and my eternal life in the spiritual world. 28. आकर्षण विकर्षणेर वस्तु आछे जत चाही वान चाही वान चाहिए मन कोही बेवाकत. There are so many things that attract and repel us. There is no end to the things that we want and don't want. So Krishna speaks very elaborately, raga and dvesh, attachment and aversion. So he says there is long list of that. We should not be carried away by all that. 29. Eduhu mimamsa shighra kari matiman nitya tattva Krishna bhakti karaha sandhan. We have to resolve what exactly we do or do not want and decide to search for our devotional service to Krishna, the eternal truth. 30th. Oduvera yuddhe jadi jai hate chaho tabe aprakruta namakrutsta Hale Raksha Pao. If you wish to triumph over attraction and repulsion, then you should remember that by becoming attracted to the transcendental holy name, you will be delivered from them. So, only goal should be to get attracted by holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 31st. Krishna Seva Rasa Katha Tabe Bhujibe Tuchha Sab Rasa Prati Ghuruna Upajibe. Then you will understand the nature of service to Krishna and test of his divine topics. Then you will feel nothing but disgust for the other insignificant pleasures of this world. One should be able to spit at the pleasures of this world, hmm, understanding them to be tuchha. Bhaktan Thakur is guiding us in that direction. 32nd. Krishna Nushilana Jata Vardhita Haibe Jara Vishaya Pipasa Tata Kamite Thakibe. As you continue cultivating your consciousness of Krishna, your thirst for material sense objects will decrease. So we should not, sometimes people, even boys, many others, they are worried about what about my lust is not going, anger is not going. One should not focus on this negativity. One should focus on positive side, as he's very nicely saying. As you continue cultivating your Krishna consciousness, your thirst for material sense objects will decrease. That will automatically go away. No need of separate endeavor in that direction. 33rd. Bharayai kathina tattva Krishna katha hai apacchamak prada jatilathamai. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness is very perplexing. At first it seems startling and full of complex details. Because of our attachment we may feel that this is very complex. 34th. Nami hate taranam adhika karuna ashray laile tattva karena jnapana. The holy name is more compassionate than the Lord of the name himself. If one takes shelter of the name, then it unravels all these philosophical complexities. So if only we chant more and more, then philosophical complexities will be removed. 35th. Nitya प्रायजन मोदेर कृष्ण प्रेम धन तहा अनुभवे काम बाढ़े सर्वक्षण. The treasure of love for Krishna is the eternal goal of our lives. At every moment, personal desires interfere without our realizing it. So personal desire should not be there. Arana koriha mani asha. No personal desire, only desire to serve Hari Guru Vaishnavas. 36. Namashraye se badha haya apanita Krishna prema rajyavasha haya abhipsita. By taking shelter of the holy name, all these obstacles are removed and we can obtain the fulfillment of our true desire, which is to dwell in the realm of pure love of Krishna. So take shelter of holy name. Namashrita. 37. Ye jagate ke hanahe anuraga patra athava vairaga patra nahe anumatra. In this world, no one is the special object of my affection, nor do I have the slightest hostility towards anyone. So pure devotee doesn't have attachment and aversion. So he is revealing here. Though so many people were against Bhaktan Thakur was always their kind well-wisher. 38. सकल व्यवस्था एक स्थान स्थायी होय एथा कर लाभालाभ विचारः नय. Whatever arrangements we make in this world are temporary. There is no need to waste time thinking about gain or loss here. He's just focusing our attention to permanent truths, eternal truths. We get carried away by temporary happenings, but that should not be the case. Through his teachings, we could be focused. 39. Sabakara labhya se eka prayojan Shri Krishna padarvinde prema mahadhan. The only thing anyone should strive for is the one supreme goal of life. That is the treasure of love for Krishna's lotus feet. 40th. Tad uddeshya sabe mili hao yatnavan ek dhyana ek jnana hao ek tan. So join together all of you and strive for this goal. Work together harmoniously with a single thing in mind and a single understanding. So Bhaktan Thakur beforehand only had given the idea about GBC, Governing Body Commission. But unfortunately, all of the followers did not agree. And they became of the opinion that there should be Matadish, not several people, one person. And then there were two factions, then the fights in the court for several years. So much property of Gaudiya Math was sold. All the four printing presses, with hard efforts Bhaktivinoda Thakur had established, they had to be sold for getting money to fight the court cases. And everything was destroyed. Everything was dismantled in the pieces. But Prabhupada Taking that idea, he formed GBC, and because of GBC working together in one body, focused on Prabhupada's instruction, ISKCON is surviving, not only surviving, flourishing. There is no record of after the founder Acharya's departure, any moment, religious moment, flourishing. Ours is the only one. That too 50 years down the line. It is flourishing more and more, and it will be ever more flourishing because Prabhupada disciples are focused on this principle. And Prabhupada said GBC. GBC is everybody has to follow, Governing Body Commission. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had already given idea. Work together harmoniously with a single thing in mind and single understanding. 41st. Ekodesha aikatane avasthita havo mulashraya vigraha sevaya adhikara lavo. Working together with the same purpose, we will become qualified for the service of Radharani, the original reservoir of love for Krishna. 42nd. Rupanuga chinta srota hauka pravahita tahaite swatantra kabhu nahe samhita. May the stream of ideas promoted by Rupa Goswami and his followers ever flow. We must never try to be independent of his doctrine. Always remain follower of Rupa Goswami, his teachings. 43rd. Saptajitva Nama Sankirtana Yagya Prati Kakhana Viragajena Nahaya Arati. May we never become indifferent or disinterested in the sacrifice of the holy name with its fire of 7 flames. One should never become averse or indifferent to holy name. One should always have fondness. Name ruchi. One should have taste for chanting the holy name, not that indifferent. 44th. Ekanta nuragata hetha ke vardhamana tabe te sarvatra siddhi purna manaskama. In the performance of Sankirtan, if your single-minded devotion goes on increasing, then all your desires will be fulfilled and all your goals achieved. 45th. Shri Rupanuga Janera Pada Padma Dhara Ekanta Bhavete Tandera Anugatya Kara. Take hold of the feet of the followers of Shri Rupa Goswami and follow them with exclusive commitment. 46. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Katha Parama Utsahe Birbhaye Pracharakara Sarva Siddhi Jahe. Preach the message of Shri Rup and Raghunath fearlessly and with great enthusiasm. Through this preaching, you will attain all perfection. So all the teachings, basically the main teaching is just follow in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. Then all perfection would be reached. Okay, any question? As nobody can take objection to his teachings. But how to apply the teachings, there could be question. He does not entertain any attachment to anything material. Just to Krishna and Krishna alone. Be attached. Yes.
It was informed that negative thinking, you should not bother about the negative. We should always concentrate on the positive things so that automatically the negative things will go away.
Yeah.
The practically anger, greed, enviousness, all these things, by how it will automatically go away by apply the mind in the positive things.
All the instructions given by Krishna are focused on devotional service only. Just like Arjun saying, my mind is very stubborn, obstinate, etc. Krishna says, Abhyas. Keeping aloof from negativity or wrong, dangerous things like meat eating, gambling, etc. And just constant practice you do of spirituality only, spiritual principles. Then it will happen. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane, Narottam Das Thakur Maharshi says. Krodh, anger can be purified by becoming angry on those who are envious of Krishna and his devotees. Lobha sadhu sange harikatha. The greed can be purified by hearing harikatha in the midst of sadhus, devotees. Moha ishta labha vinay. Illusion can be overcome by becoming illusioned without getting Krishna. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahename. That kind of thing. Kama Krishna karmarpane. Lust can be purified by working hard for Krishna. Engage all your senses in the service of Krishna. So when these things, one devotee, our Bhakti Shastri teacher, Bhagavata teacher said, he said that all these five put together is the ball of envy: lust, pride, greed, anger, illusion. Put all of them five together is that ball called envy. So envy will go away if we, other other five things we overcome by their positive ways of engaging in Krishna's service or Vaishnava's service. So we don't have to worry about how to remove the lust from my heart and all that. Sometimes the boys are they say that lust is not going from my heart, so I'm feeling discouraged to join as a brahmachari. So I tell them I never joined ISKCON to get rid of lust. I joined ISKCON only to serve Prabhupada and Prabhupada's instruction. That's all. To serve Hari Guru Vaishnavas. I had never any ulterior goal of getting rid of lust. And what if while being in ISKCON my lust goes away? If my goal was to get rid of lust goes away, I may go out of ISKCON. Because I came only to get rid of lust. Isn't it? If that was the goal, just like Chaturvida Bhajante Mamjana Sukrutina, four types of people come to Krishna. And when their desires are fulfilled, Artho is released of his distress, and Artharthi, who is after money, he gets money, and other thing, they go away, most of them. Because they came for that ulterior motive, and that is satisfied, they will go away. So I never came to ISKCON for getting rid of lust. I came here to serve Prabhupada, that's all. Because he sacrificed so much for me, his whole existence. So it's my duty. I feel, I have love for him. So I'll give my whole existence, and not just this life. Life after life is for Prabhupada only. As simple as that. And it is Prabhupada who will. Prabhupada said, "Now who is this Mr. Lust? I will kick him on the face with my boots." So we should not care for lust. Prabhupada has such boots, powerful boots. No army, navy, and air force officer has. Prabhupada has that kind of boots. He can kick on the face of Mr. Lust. No army officer, navy officer, and air force officer has boots by which he can kick on the face of Mr. Lust. In fact, King Mandhata is revealing Krishna in the cave after Kalemanu is killed. He says, I am coming, this Muchukunda, I am coming in the great dynasty of Mandhata, very powerful and pure devotee of the Lord. I am not so powerful. In fact, after winning so many enemies, when I come back in the inner chambers of my queens, then I put my crown at their feet and beg for some sexual enjoyment. I don't have control over my senses. So big army officers, navy officers, and all that, they have to bend in front of Mr. Lust, and they have to bend every time. Like we saw here, sadhus only, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj departure, and the sadhus had illicit connection with women. So lust is unconquerable by anyone, but Acharya like Prabhupada can kick on the face of Mr. Lust. So we have to take shelter of inside the boot. We have to be at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Then we'll also see how Prabhupada, when he gives a kick on the Mr. Lust face, we will also, because we are inside, in that boot at the lotus feet of Prabhupada, we will also see, yes, he's getting powerful kicks and he's collapsing there. One kick is enough, not several kicks required by Prabhupada. One kick is enough. We should not worry. We should have faith in the power of our acharyas, and all the negativity will go away. Whether I am taking shelter of Prabhupada sincerely on the positive side, I am not doing that. I am only worried when will lust go, when will anger go, when will pride go. They will never go. You are contemplating so much on them, they will come all the more. They will enter your heart. So one should not worry about this negativity. One should just focus on following the instructions of spiritual master. Then he takes care of everything. Yes. I had one article, but somehow not a very short article for Grihasthas, I think. Bhaktihan Thakur has given instruction to Grihasthas. One paragraph is there. Very nice, but I'm not getting. Basically saying that towards the beggars, one should give them prasadam. One should not be hard-hearted. That is one place he says to Grihasthas. It is duty of the Grihasthas to always be charitable, particularly to beggars and all that. Traditionally, before even eating, honoring prasadam, they would go out and shout loudly 3 times. Is there anyone hungry? Please come, prasadam is ready. So if not that much, at least when beggars come to Grihasthas, Not only grahasthas, to others also, brahmachari sannyasis also. We should always have some prasad and give them. Otherwise, we'll become hard-hearted, thinking that okay, he's suffering his own bad karma. Why should I worry? No. As such, anybody coming to us asking anything is asking for Krishna only, and particularly beggar is hungry, so we should give him prasadam. Any other question? Yes.
Prabhuji, generally the instructions that we receive is that four things we have to focus on. One is chanting without uh, um, attentive chanting, and then association with devotees, reading of Srila Prabhupada books.
ABCD.
ABCD, yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
So here the standard set by our acharyas is so high. Like even if I look at chanting, I do chant my prescribed rounds, but it is not attentive chanting.
It is not
It is
attentive.
not. It is not. Again, reading of books, I read, but it's very, very difficult to absorb and apply as a sadhana. I just read. And similarly, association of devotees, when we associate with devotees, we should not offend them, but we have to serve them. So that mentality is always fault finding mentality I have. So even these such basic instructions, I'm not able to follow. So sometimes I feel so despondent that, am I really doing justice, or am I?
Yeah, so in case we feel like that, we should approach some seniors who will tell us how to do then. Like association, not only we should take association, we should arrange association for materialistic people also. We should preach. The more you preach, more you'll be empowered by the Supreme Lord. And disrespect, offenses is nothing but disrespect. So learn to respect devotees, pay obeisances to them, approach them and say, how could I serve you? Because as long as we are committing offenses, we will be getting kicks after kicks by Maya. And so one learns in a hard way. So when I'm getting kicks after kicks, I realize, oh, I think Krishna is not tolerating my offenses to Vaishnavas. So better I go to Vaishnavas and fall at their lotus feet, pay obeisances and say, Prabhu, please give me some service. They give some service, we render that service there, please. Offense is removed and you are empowered also. So A, B, Prabhupada books, we should read loudly, read for materialistic people. Go in your society, in your building around and go and read for them. Prabhupada books are understandable by everyone, at least the basic understanding, small books, etc. So that way, again, we will understand Prabhupada books and we will relish them, because this knowledge increases by offering to others, by distributing. If we just keep it to ourselves, then that would be a problem. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is said that Premera Vanya Anailo, Nitai, Bhasailo Tribhuone. He flooded this treasure of love of Godhead. They opened, Panchatatvas opened. It was locked within the treasure of India. They broke open the seal, opened the doors, and brought flood of Krishna consciousness all over the world. So we also have to become part of that. Chanting, teach others chanting. Give beads to others, teach them, chant Hare Krishna. Before that, we'll have to tell some philosophy also. So more people you give chanting, Jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Agya Guru Haya, Tare Desh. On my instruction, you become Guru, Mahaprabhu has told. So more we tune in with the instructions of Mahaprabhu and his followers, more will be empowered. There's no question of feeling discouraged and all that. Okay, in case you feel it is not happening well in my life, that means something is wrong somewhere in me. I'm falling short of the proper procedure. So go. Just like H2, two molecules, and O2, one molecule, has to become one drop of water. If it is not, that means something somewhere wrong. Either it is not H2 or O2, or it is proportion is wrong. That's why it is happening like that. The science of Krishna is very clear. There is no ambiguity, there is no haziness there. It's crystal clear message. But okay, we may not be knowing exactly how to follow, so we should approach somebody. That's why tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. When we hear our spiritual master, Vapu may not be available, physical association, but Vani is there. When we read Prabhupada books daily, it's so crystal clear. Maya cannot stand in front of you if you read Prabhupada books. Prabhupada is amazing, powerful. Anybody who reads Prabhupada books daily for 1 hour at least, Maya will not be able to come in front of him. And even if she comes, she cannot touch him like that. Isn't it? His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj said that anybody who reads Prabhupada books for 2 hours daily, Maya cannot touch him. 2 hours. But Prabhupada expects at least 1 hour. Prabhupada said 1 to 2 hours. All my followers should read all my books. How many of you read all the books of Prabhupada? See, then what will happen? We have to. What kind of followers of Prabhupada are we? That we are not following his instruction? We have to. Now we can say Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, dance up and down. After 10, 15 years, absconding. Not visible. What happened to that devotee? Where is he? He would dance like anything. Prabhupada, Prabhupada. No, he's gone in Maya. Because what Prabhupada wants of him, he doesn't know. And Maya is always tempting, alluring. Maya is not going to spare anyone. No matter who you are, she will not spare you. So one has to be sheltered at the lotus feet of Acharya. Every morning we have Prabhupada Guru Puja. That is part of Pancharatri ki Vidhi. So part of Bhagavata is reading his books daily. Prabhupada did not say so much like, okay, he's there in the deity form. But Prabhupada said, I will remain in two places. In my books and in the hearts of my sincere followers. That means Grantha Bhagavat and Vyakti Bhagavat. Book Bhagavat, person Bhagavat. So how much are we associating with book Bhagavat and person Bhagavat? That is the question to be asked. As much as I lack in this, that much Maya will be entering in my heart, in my life. She's not going to spare me. She's not going to leave me. Till my last breath, she is not going to leave me. So I have to be always alert, cautious, attentive, careful. Just otherwise, isn't it? Okay, here is that article, I got it. Duties of a married man. This is a reproduction of a conversation with Major Rana N.J. Bahadur at some place, Darjeeling, on June 14, 1935. It was originally published in the Harmonist, volume number is there, on the 27th of June 1935. This reproduction is not edited except for a few orthographical changes. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada was traveling through Orissa with his disciples. On one day, as he was coming back from Sakshi Gopal's temple, some people on the way asked for alms from the married men who accompanied Srila Prabhupada. But none of them gave anything. None of the disciples, followers, who were all married, did not give anything to the beggars. Srila Prabhupada, that means Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in seeing this, stopped, sat down and started to talk about the duties of married men. During his chat, he said, if married men think I must not give any of my money, which I consider reserved for Krishna, to the poor and deprived, then they are really showing symptoms of wretchedness. Wretchedness, you understand? Like poverty and all that. Then they are really showing the symptoms of wretchedness, cruelty, and lack of compassion for others. They should not consider that giving charity to the poor is a fruitful activity. This kind of mentality shall make their hearts hard, and they will suffer of greed. As a result of this, they shall not want to spend their money, not even on the devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which is the ultimate goal in life. This will invite offenses in the service. To save ourselves of this kind of deceit and sinful concept, Sri Gaurasundar used to give money and things like that to the poor people during his pastimes as a married man, when Mahaprabhu was Nimai Pandit as a married man. The money we have only gotten by the Lord's grace. If we give some of it to the mendicant poor people, then it is not a waste of money, rather it is its correct use. Serving prasadam to others is the necessary duty of every married Vaishnava. Even if these people have turned to poor by karma or their destiny, even so, they are still a part of the Lord's family. Therefore, it is definitely the solemn duty of every honest married man to help them. So the pastime is told, they did not give anything. So then he sat down, he stopped his journey and told them, no, some must. Otherwise, eventually our Krishna Seva will also stop, will commit offenses. So compassion is always the mood of all the devotees, acharyas. So we have to be compassionate. Give prasad at least, if not money. Prasad should be given. Grahasthas compulsory. Their money is for that reason. They have to give prasad to beggars and others needy. Okay, any other? Yes. Whatever, he's a real or fake beggar, we give him prasad, no? What is the problem? Even we give prasad to devotees, isn't it? And ultimately, as I said, everybody while begging for Krishna only. So give him Krishna in the most possible acceptable way. Prasadam is acceptable by everyone. And we can trick also for those who don't want. Like one Christian missionary was there, my Guru Maharaj tells, when he was preaching on the college universities of America, one particular Christian missionary was against him, and he would come right when Maharaj would be coming and preaching to the college boys. So then he would come and oppose so much. So one point of time, Maharaj gave him prasad and told him, "This is cooked with love by my mother for me. So could you please accept it?" And he said, "Yes, why not? Your mother has cooked." And which mother had cooked? Which Maharaj mother? Maharaj had left his family long before. Some Mataji in ISKCON had cooked and she had given Maharaj. So Maharaj said, "My mother has cooked with love. So could you accept?" And he accepted prasad. He ate, there will be transformation. So we can even trick that way. Just like children have to be fed medicine inside the laddu or something sweet, because they may not directly take medicine. So why to worry who is fake? And ours is such that, whether bogus people come in front of us, cheaters come, everybody, we are only giving. And it doesn't exhaust our quota, our treasury, and they will be benefited. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahatopaya. Anyhow, one comes in touch. That dacoit we know, he sat in Bhagavatam and Sadhu spoke about Krishna's beauty, ornament, and he desired, "Oh, really? I am going to Vrindavan." What is the name? Krishna, Vrindavan, Yashoda, and he went there. And what happened? Krishna cheated him. He became devotee of Krishna, isn't it? One particular thief, he saw Prabhupada's photo with gold strapped wristwatch, and he thought, "This is the watch I want." So he said, "Where is this man staying?" "Oh, he's gone to America." Yes. "So when is he going to come?" So much attraction to Prabhupada, not to Prabhupada, but to watch, like that. And then he understood he will come to India after some time. Then he thought, "Let me join as a brahmachari. So he will come, that time I will steal." So he became brahmachari, started following morning program. Then what happened? His desire only evaporated. And one point of time in Prabhupada was in Hyderabad, he went there to meet. And he met Prabhupada, paid obeisances. He had no desire to take that. But while leaving, Prabhupada said, "So I want to gift you this watch." And he said, "No, no, no, Prabhupada." He was scared that Prabhupada maybe understood, his great soul. He might have understood my name. He said, "No, no, 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 Prabhupada, I don't want that, Prabhupada said, "No, it's my love for you." Then he understood. Then he accepted. So even if cheater comes to ISKCON, he will be cheated of his material life. He will not be able to cheat us. Certainly, it is our duty to be watchful also. Like sometimes people put a thread with Fevicol and all and put in the hundi box and take out the notes. This kind of things have happened in ISKCON and many other ways of cheating. So we should be careful not to allow Krishna's money to go in the people outside. But otherwise, if they come and if they hear, then they will be cheated of their material life only. Nobody can cheat Krishna. Krishna is the greatest cheater in the creation. Chato Shatyam. Dare anyone can try to cheat Krishna. Nobody in the creation can. So he will be benefited rather. Yes. Aswa? Acha. We should ask what you want money for. Generally, beggars and all, when we give what? The beggar is not supposed to build his house by your money. He is not supposed to purchase clothes with your money. Only one thing, food only. So we are giving prasadam. We can give in large quantity also. Why is he asking money?
That's true, Prabhu. Just maybe this one clarification I wanted to understand is sometimes they ask money, they insist only on money.
So they should be asked, "Sir, why do you want money?"
Yeah,
He may say, "I want to drink tea." You can say, "Tea is not good. I'll purchase milk for you. A2 milk." I'll give you 2 liters also, 5 liters also. Don't worry. And drink in front of me. Otherwise, he'll sell it and purchase tea and drink. That also. Sometimes they may show that. Somewhere in South India, I gave one beggar. He was asking 5 rupees, give 5 rupees for tea. I said, "No, no, take this prasad." So then he said, and then he went away. What could we do?
the question there, I guess, is should we
entertain their sinful.
entertain their, because sometimes we like say out of whatever we happen to give some money, but then I also heard that most of the
Reaction.
times they basically go and drink something.
Yeah,
whatever.
so that's why we don't give money. Here, what happened? These followers of Bhakti Thakur, they did not give them anything. They could have given prasad, no? If they gave prasad to those beggars, whatever, then Bhakti Thakur would not have said anything. And we also hear in ISKCON that we should give prasad mainly because money could be misused. I once saw personally some 3 children around, teens. They might be 12, 13 age group. So they came as beggars and all that. And many people gave them. After some whatever 5-6 hours, when train halted in one place at the station, I saw those 3 boys. One of them was smoking cigarette, and they got down at that station and they left the railway premises. So we don't give. That will be charity in the mode of ignorance. That's why Grihastha should always carry prasad and give a lot of prasad to the beggars and whosoever asks. That is enough. As I said, it is very clear in the world. The beggars with your money are not supposed to build house. They are not supposed to purchase clothes. Yes or not? House, simple kutir and everything, something Krishna will arrange. Government will give, whatever. And as far as clothes, rejected clothes they accept. Isn't it? Generally, that's how we see also sadhus also traditionally what? They will stay in Parana kutir and all that, like our Goswamis. They did not beg alms for building houses, nor did they ask for clothes. Whatever Vrajavasis would reject, they would pick them up, clothes, torn clothes, they would wash in the river, Yamuna water, and they would wear. Only alms they would beg, isn't it? Sometimes they would be given chickpeas, sometimes this or that. And that's what they would offer to their deity like Madan Mohan, etc. And remaining prasad little bit for them. So it's very clear those who are beggars, they are not supposed to beg for either houses, building houses, or for making their clothes. That comes through simple means. Only food is the only necessity that we give in the form of prasad. Okay. Any other? Yes. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam.
After some time, I don't remember any one of the instruction also provided.
So again read. Again here. Why it is said Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya? Even myself, after reading all this, giving class, I won't remember this after 5-6 days. Or maybe now also, I read it out and explained. Not that everything is I am Shrutidhar and all that. That's why again and again we have to read. Again and again we have to hear. Because we tend to forget. Okay. It is compulsory for all of us. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of his quality, he was Shrutidhar. Maybe the last Shrutidhar of Kali Yuga. While departing from the few years before, 50 years back, what he had read, paragraphs and everything he could repeat verbatim. 50 years back. Many of us may not be of 50 age only. And even if we are, we will not remember what we read 50 years back. Or 5 years back, 5 days back, maybe 5 hours back, 5 minutes back. So that's why again and again. Keep reading. Keep hearing. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bro, like in Grihasthas or devotees, sometimes outsiders will come and ask for money for building Devi Devatas, demigods temples. So what we should do?
We can tell them, I will sponsor. You want to, for darshanarthis, you want to feed, na? So I will sponsor. One day I will my sponsorship for let's say sweet. I will give sweet rice. And you offer to Krishna, maybe here you tell temple devotee only. Best is offered to the deity. And you have money. Let all those darshanarthis who have come for Durga, Ganesh, who may not come to our ISKCON temple, so at least they will get prasad there only. They will be purified. And that require, in fact, you can tell them, you are asking for 100 rupees, 200. I will sponsor 1000 rupees sweet. That means more than what we could give in cash. He will be ecstatic. Supposed to be ecstatic. If he is going to drink wine or tea with that, then he may not be. He will try to say, no, we want money, this, that. You'll say, okay, I'm ready to come to your committee members and I'll talk to them. That is a good opportunity. You go and you propose, you arrange our lecture also. Book distribution, books, Prabhupada's books, isn't it? So we should be very intelligent. We should penetrate the society as much as possible. Our goal is not just to be in the temple assembling and that's all. We do our bhajan and finish. No. We have to preach. So we should take every opportunity to enter in, penetrate the society. Yes, any other? Somebody could help him how to switch it on. Okay. He could ask loudly if possible. Preaching, penetrating the society. Understood. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he preached Prabhupada? Prabhupada was so much follower of Gandhi. He was wearing khadi only. And when he came to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he, in fact, that time, at least India is completely having freedom now from 1947 till date. But those days, India was under foreign subjugation. In those times, to speak like the way Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke, nobody in the wildest of the dream could ever imagine, could have imagined. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke very boldly. You can read that passage, how he said, all-time rulers on everyone are the senses. Mughals came, they ruled for 800 years, they left. British have come, now also there is so much, how to call that, disturbance in the India, they will soon be removed, gone. But all-time rulers are the senses and the mind on every conditioned soul. So what about freedom from the control of mind and senses? For that, we need to surrender to Krishna. We can address that. And body also, by the grace of the Lord, like COVID, it was not a worldwide attempt to bring about such a worldwide disease. Without our asking, expecting, and all that, it just came in. And what can people do? Those who go out without mask and all that will be infected with that virus. And others have to keep, so the situation of the world is beyond our control. That doesn't mean that we should not take care of our health. We take care of some minimum things, and by that, that is enough. Beyond that, you might, no matter what you eat, organic food eaters also are going to die only. Prabhupada said, survival of the fittest, but even fittest don't survive. Isn't it? Lion may be ruling, eating all the animals throughout life, but then ultimately he also has to die. So life is not just focusing on temporary short span of life. We are eternal souls, and we have to take care of our health, real health. Real health of the soul is when he surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord, serving him. So we have to preach on that level. Certainly his concerns and all that he speaks, we can address. He may say, no, organic food is important. Okay, you purchase organic food and eat that, but take prasad and also chant Hare Krishna. Otherwise, next lifetime, where is the possibility? What if you become a dog? Somebody becomes a dog, we can tell, okay, you become dog is very heavy. So what if somebody who eats organic food throughout life, next lifetime, by his karma in this human birth, he becomes a dog? What, he will eat organic food? Does dog get organic food? He eats gutter water and stool and all rejected foodstuffs. And in there, he doesn't discriminate whether this is, I will only take the rejected organic food. So, means I'm not saying that you shower all your bombarding words on him, but point is, you have to open his eyes. Chakshur unmilitam yena. Guru's duty is to open the eyes of the sleeping souls. Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole. Koto nidra java maya, pishachira kole. Isn't it? Did not Dhirubhai Ambani die? Did not Dara Singh and all of them, powerful people, rich people, beautiful people, is all temporary. We have to get on our eternal journey, improving there. Okay, you take care. You can tell them, we also take nice prasad, we take organic prasad, we offer to Krishna. That is most sanctified food. So much can be preached. You can take the opportunity to preach unlimitedly, as much as the person is ready. Ultimately, he will run away. You say, sir, I don't have time. You seem to have a lot of time.
I have to purchase at least for now inorganic food because organic is too costly. For now, I have to purchase at least inorganic food. So people will always have some concerns with the body, our body, family, society, nation, and humanitarian, being human everywhere, isn't it? Just by wearing a t-shirt, being human, you don't necessarily become a human. Human beings means who? Who surrenders to Krishna. That is the life. Human birth is so much glorified by demigods in the fifth canto. That they desire to take birth on earth as human beings so that in short span of time, take to devotional service, perfect life, go back home back to God. So just by wearing t-shirt, being human, you don't become a human. Human is not just not killing animals is not just human, or just pampering others, saying, yeah, yeah, be good, you are good, I am good, be good, do good, and that's it. That's not being human. What Krishna says being human, that we have to understand. Manushanam sahasreshu kashid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam pashin mam yati tatvata. So we have to preach on absolute plane only. We can hear their relative truth, whatever understanding, but we have to smash it in nice words. Don't have to become angry, raise your voice. I might have raised it because you are a devotee. You are not going to go away. But on with them, we can be little gently, we can speak and smash their arguments. Prabhupada's formula was that only. Any Baba, Sadhu, Bua, this, that, and somebody would come, his follower, Swamiji, I saw this person producing ash. Prabhupada, what is his philosophy? His philosophy is that he will become ash. Then no need to smash. So, if at all he has philosophy, Prabhupada would smash the philosophy. But where in the scriptures it says that the Supreme is without form? Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwan iti Shabdade. Prabhupada would smash the philosophy, wrong philosophy. And automatically that sadhu who propagates that philosophy is automatically defeated. And this follower of that sadhu understand, I am following a bogus follower. Naji Prabhu was like that only. He was follower of, I don't want to quote, of one very famous person in India, Sadhu. And a lot of influence was there on their family, particularly Naji Prabhu, Shri Naji Prabhu. He's no more now, like that. And when he met Prabhupada in his young days, then Prabhupada would ask, what is the philosophy of that Sadhu? And whatever he would say, Prabhupada would smash. Then again he would go there, learn something, he would come and he would smash. So then ultimately he understood that Sadhu, he has no substance. It's hollow. And Prabhupada has full substance. Then Naji Prabhu surrendered to Prabhupada. He wanted to take initiation from Prabhupada, but unfortunately Prabhupada left body in 77. He could not. So he took initiation from Prabhupada's disciple. So we have to learn the way Prabhupada preached, the way Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur preached. Every conditioned soul, even we here also, we can see in counseling, brahmacharis come and they're crying, I don't have smartphone, Prabhu. They're like that. You have to smash. What smartphone? You think you'll become a smart brahmachari by having smartphone? You will become ullu. I will cheat you. Brahmacharis in the temple carry so much of illusion. So what to speak of conditioned souls from outside world? They'll always have their concerns about body, aham and mameti. That has to be, their eyes have to be opened up with loving words, but smashing philosophy. Okay? So we'll end here. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. If you all want, you can read one. I think that his book of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. I have not read it, but what? No, not that. Speaking strongly on in Srila Prabhupada's service, in the service of Srila Prabhupada. But anyway, you just read Prabhupada's purport. That is enough. You will learn what is it mean strong preaching.